broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hello everybody, you are watching and listening to AfterBuzz TV's The Voice After Show. It's Season 8, the knockouts continue. Before we get started, we want to remind you, if you haven't done so already, subscribe to our YouTube channel, leave us your comments, we will respond. Give us 5 stars while you're there. And if you're watching or listening on iTunes or SoundCloud, rate us and subscribe there as well. I'm Jason Ikeler. You can follow me on Twitter at Jason Ikeler. And this lovely, beautiful.
It's so hard for him to say this right now because you guys should have heard all the names he was calling me right beforehand.
Lady to my left is Stephanie Giorgi.
It's your girl, Steffi G. Follow me on Twitter at Stephanie Giorgi.
And if you guys want to talk to us tonight, use the hashtag ABTV Voice.
We will have our cell phones on us and or his laptop.
Or just our cell phones, because I don't think my internet's working. All right, let's get into it. Let's start with Team Adam. His first pairing tonight was Tanya Boyd Cannon versus Barry Meningfield. Tanya Boyd Cannon saying, I wish.
And she does not disappoint. Ever.
No, she, I feel like, is one of the people in the competition who's consistently good.
Oh, absolutely.
But not necessarily somebody that I remember.
That's actually true because I remember saying when she was singing with I already forgot his name, the white kid from last week, that like how great it was, but I did forget until she came on again, and when she came on, she just did fantastic. She's really, her presence on stage is great, and her confidence is wonderful, and her range, like she said that this song is going to be the song that really describes the person that I am because it like speaks to her soul, if you will. And
she sings it. It's weird to say with like a soulful sass.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like that's the best way to describe her voice, where she just kind of like hits you with it.
Oh,
and it's
absolutely.
like, oh, this is what I did. It doesn't feel like, I feel like a lot of times with music like this, they like work their way up to it.
Mm-hmm.
She just does it.
Right.
I was pretty happy with her performance.
Me too. And to be perfectly honest, Barry did wonderful also.
You want to talk about Barry, who's saying what you wouldn't do for love?
Yes, he did great also, but I see that between these two contestants, it more had to do with what's next. The voice is there, the performance aspect is there. Now, who do we want to see and or who will be more marketable?
I agree with that because I think maybe Tanya isn't necessarily like a teen pop star,
mm-hmm.
but I feel like she can appeal to a larger audience than Barry can.
Absolutely.
Who's got a very specific, probably older demographic looking after him.
Right.
He's really good. He's really talented, but I would be shocked if he had like a big career after the show.
Right. Likewise.
And not that that's good or bad, that just kind of is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm just kind of like, this is the most we'll ever see from Barry.
Yes, I agree.
Do you think he's peaking on The Voice?
No, well, I mean, he's gone now, so it doesn't really matter, but he did well. Like what Chloe was saying before, he's gonna do great wherever he begins to perform after the show.
It's just, it gets a little, I don't want to say corny, but a little corny, like, we're trying to find a superstar here, and they're having like, not to sound ageist, mm-hmm. but they're having young, super marketable pop stars face up against somebody, and he's kind of like, it's almost just like, why are you doing to the poor guy?
Mm-hmm. Pharrell had mentioned how he thought it was important for America to see a 53-year-old black man sing this type of soul and sing it the way that he is. And not that it's not important. However, my thing with that is that, and I almost feel like I'm going to sound greedy as far as music goes, that I think now we need more. Because we had the best of the best back in the day. We had our soul singers, Aretha's, our Al Greens, like all of these people who killed it, Stevie Wonders, and now we're in a different genre. We're in a different era of music. We're kind of looking. That's what I think.
It's not like he's creating anything new or different. Right. Everything he's doing, we've already seen.
Yeah, before. I mean, we look up to those people still. They're still our role models. We still want to be performers like them, but now it's something else. It's something that we haven't seen before.
Well, not that he's not an authentic artist, but it does come across as mimicking a little bit.
Yes. Well, or just very familiar.
Yeah, nothing like crazy new. So Tanya won that. which I think she deserved to.
Yep.
Up next, we've got Team Blake, and we have Brooke. My contacts are all fuzzed up, so hopefully I can read this. Brooke Audie versus Kelsey May. Kelsey sang Taylor Swift, Tim McGraw by Taylor Swift. Mm-hmm. I thought on paper this was a really good song choice for her.
Yeah.
On paper.
Right.
And then she approached the song how you would approach a Carrie Underwood song. Like, big vocals, big runs, and I think because she oversang it, she got super pitchy. And I think what makes Taylor Swift so good as a performer is her ability to tell a story.
Yes.
Whether or not every vocal is on the right
No,
note.
You're absolutely right.
Taylor Swift can make you connect and feel something, and I don't think this song's about like lost love and somebody moving away, and I don't think this girl was connected to it at all.
Right. And she said, well, actually, no, that was Treva who said she really needs to connect to it. I'm surprised that she didn't think to do that, because you can hear that she has a good voice, but like the delivery was just off.
Yeah.
It was very, I don't know, you could tell she was nervous. She kept having to like support her diaphragm by brace herself for something big, because she was getting shaky, and she's like, ah.
Well, and there's a thing as like using too much air
right
when you're singing, and I think that was her problem. She like overshot everything. And this song is just like very like,
yeah,
I'm just sitting on a stool telling a story.
Unfortunately I couldn't connect with her at all in this song,
which is a bummer, because she has had some really good country performances, and I like that she was trying something younger, but it didn't work.
Absolutely.
So she went up against Brooke, who sang Electric Feel by MGMT. I actually liked Brooke better during rehearsal than I did in her actual performance.
So do I, because every time she executed like the final note to the end of every like the melody or like or one of the verses, it was oh, and like it was more of a yell than a sing. Right?
Yeah. And I think the problem with her is, in a song you need to have like an overarching story. Like there's a beginning, there's a middle, there's an end.
Yes.
And I think every phrase she put so much into it that like, yeah, that like tiny phrase was good, but overall the whole performance was just too much.
Yeah. Like, yeah, and
because it's good
think,
if you just hear
but she loops.
Yeah.
She sings the exact same like notes, like five. She sings that.
Yeah, she doesn't build to it.
She doesn't build to it, and it'll end, and it goes to the top, and then it goes right back to the bottom, and back to the top, and like so. It was by this part of the song, that was it. There was no more. There was nothing else to the performance.
Yeah, we had seen everything she could do.
Exactly.
Which is interesting, because I feel like she has a huge voice.
She does.
She's just not executing it right, and she's trying too hard to do too many tricks.
Oh, yeah. No, I know.
Like, just sing. That's my advice for a lot of the contestants tonight. Like, stop trying to sound artsy. Stop trying to do some vocal fry. Just sing.
Yeah. And I always wonder why the contestants decide to choose songs like MGMT, because those are songs. I don't think of them as songs. I think of them like, oh, that's a sick beat, right?
Yeah.
Because they're just like the production of it is pretty cool.
Well, it's about more than just the vocals.
Right, it is. And
as opposed to doing like a Jessie J song, where Jessie J's songs are about her voice.
Yes, absolutely. And so it's hard, because how would she have made this into more of a song? This is more of like a party song. I mean, but then again, she's young, so she probably would choose something like this. But had she chosen something like Jessie J, or even like something like Sia. Sorry.
It's been a long day.
Right. No, but she, those are cool songs, also very modern, and probably like what she was going for, even though she's much more difficult to sing.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah, there are songs that have like, if you were trying to go the artsy route, you can do that and have songs that fit your vocal better. They're out there.
So as far as this battle goes, I think that Blake it was more difficult for him, because he knew that neither of them showed him what he needed to see.
Yeah.
And so it was a matter of potential. It was a matter of like, okay, well, I mean, who's going to be able to give me a little more?
What's funny is I don't necessarily remember Brooke, but I remember Kelsey. But based on just these performances alone, I would have chosen Brooke. Maybe based on the overall competition, I would have chosen Kelsey.
Right. So that's why I was a little bit surprised that he let Kelsey go.
Yeah.
However, maybe Kelsey is just stuck on country, and that's it. And Brooke showed the attempt and the effort to sing something else.
Well, and I think Kelsey showed like if she wins the competition, she's gonna have to do young, marketable music. Yeah. And she kind of proved tonight that
that she's an amateur.
Yeah. Amateur hour. Okay, up next was Team Christina, and it was Joe Tolo versus India Carney. Joe sang One of Us by Joan Osborne. Great song choice. I love this song.
Yeah.
He has an insanely good voice, and it's almost got like an effortless quality to it.
It does. He didn't look like he was straining. When he hit that high note, he kept going. I was like, damn, you could probably still go, but you just decided to stop because it was time to stop.
He reminds me a little bit of Ruben Studdard.
Oh, nice.
Just like that smooth, a little bit of rasp R&B.
Right. But it's so clear, right?
Yeah.
Everything that he sings. I mean, this was a great performance. It was just a matter of like both of them sang great. Well, like you said, I mean, she kind of just killed it, like hit it out of the park.
Yeah. But he was, compared to a lot of the other singers that went tonight, he was definitely in the top.
Yeah.
Everybody hates when we say marketability. Markability? I don't know what it is. Anyways, he's not necessarily marketable.
Right.
To sell,
he really does sound so good,
but he sounds amazing. Go to Broadway, Joe. He went up against India Carney, who sang Big White Room by Jessie J. Firstly, we have to say, like, Jessie J songs are insanely hard to sing.
They are so
She has an incredible range and, like, such a great voice. When India started, I'm like, okay, is she gonna do it? Like, it's really good.
Right.
And then by the end of it, like, your jaw is on the floor, and you're like, poor Joe. He doesn't have a chance.
Yeah. And it was, she put herself in it. That's what I'm saying. You could see the difference in these singers when they're really being passionate about it.
Yeah.
Which I'm not going to lie, Joe showed that. He really did. It was just a matter of like, oh man, she was a little bit better.
Yeah, this was a hard battle.
Yes. And the best part is that he's the only one that would have been able to battle against her and make it actually look like a competition. Like, who's it going to be?
Yeah. He looked a little scared while she was singing.
I think he was just more really listening to it. You could tell he likes his music and he was just feeling it. Because I'm the same. I mean, I'm not necessarily just smiling and listening to the beat.
Yeah,
I'm watching it like it's a movie.
What I liked about her is she didn't necessarily, like, yes, she came out and she slayed it. Mm-hmm. But I felt like she focused more on emotionally connecting to the song.
But that was important.
Which made her win even more. Not necessarily like, I need to get out there and be the better singer. Because she could have oversang this song.
She could have, because she's trained and she has her technique and all of that there. So the emotional part was important so that she wouldn't have gotten caught up in it. And
we always talk about a build. Mm-hmm. She knows how to build.
She does. And she created a balance too tonight. So that's what I was happy about. Because
and she looked great. You know, she kind of looked like Dinah Jane from Fifth Harmony.
Oh. I said that like I'm not on camera, but I just mouthed to Jason, I don't know what she looks like.
I know what Dinah Jane looks like. Where my harmonizer's at. But yeah, I thought she was great. She obviously should have won, and she did win.
Yeah.
I think
I love
I'm
her
just
lower
gonna
register.
call it here. I think we're gonna see her in the finale.
Oh, likewise. Yeah.
I'll be shocked if we don't.
I mean, she's definitely one of the best singers. It's gonna now what's gonna happen is it's gonna be between. Well, we can actually talk about that in predictions.
Okay, well, let's talk about Team Pharrell. He had Jacob Rummel, who sang "Life of the Party" by Shawn Mendes, versus Lowell Oakley, who sang "My Girl." First of all, Jacob, love the song choice. We love us some Shawn Mendes up in here.
We love Shawn Mendes. We're such huge Shawn Mendes fans.
Okay, the thing about Jacob is he has that quality. Maybe it's like a star quality, where you're rooting for him and you want to watch him. There's something about him when he's on the screen, you get excited.
Oh, yes.
Vocally, I don't think this is one of his best performances. It was really pitchy, and his falsettos were just very underwhelming. And he kind of like overshot a lot of the high notes.
Yes, and he's putting tricks in. He wasn't singing the song. That's maybe the only issue with the Shawn Mendes song. Shawn Mendes connects to all of his songs, so that's what, like, a poppy song like this sounded good. Right, exactly. Where this kid needed to connect to it, but sometimes, I mean, that's the only issue with being younger is that
because this is actually kind of a sad song.
Right.
And he sang it like, you have to emotionally connect to the song, but he approached it sort of like, oh my God, I'm so excited to be on The Voice.
Yeah.
Which is cool and it's fun to watch, but you could have wowed us even more if you would have captured the emotion of the song, and I think we would have even let some of the notes slide.
Even if he had watched like the little music video for this, I mean, he only sits in like a diner and kind of just sings it, and he's like reflecting, right?
Steffi's watched this video several times.
No, but I'm just saying that's I think what some of the singers have to do is do some of their research a little bit, because you can learn how to connect to a song if you just find
how the artist connects to it.
Right, watch how the artist connects to it, or I don't know, do something while you're singing it, or while you're learning the lyrics, or I don't know.
Well, I know a lot of times, like in like music school, they would make us, if we sang a song, they would make us take each word of the song or each like phrase and then say like, okay, these are these lyrics, then you write down a sentence under it, like, how can I personally relate to these lyrics?
Right. It's like a
And,
backstory.
like,
It's the same thing with acting. Like,
and then you get in your head when you're singing that, and then you're focused.
right. Like if, yeah, absolutely. If you
And I think
can, if
that's
you
why
can look at
India
it,
is so
diagnose
strong,
it for
'cause
what
she
it
knows-
is
yeah,
and what
you-
it's supposed to say,
Exactly.
then you can deliver it.
Love it. Okay, so he went up against Lowell Oakley, who sang My Girl. I'm a huge fan of Lowell.
Me too. I didn't like this performance.
I didn't like this performance. I didn't like the song choice. I think he tried too hard to be the crooner instead of just was Lowell, because I feel like they've kind of pigeonholed him like that.
They did.
And I think if he would have just sang the song regular instead of trying to, I sound like Eve right now, just sang the song regular. If he would have just sang the song how it's supposed to be, I think it would have been so much better than him trying to like add in the tricks and sound old school.
Yeah. It was exactly what Christina said. It was a little bit pre-calculated. I didn't like that he said his ad-lib in between the lyrics was all, it would have been cool had he been an actual like performer and known this song. But we already know from the beginning what he's actually, you know who he reminds me of a little bit now? Kasim.
Oh, from American Idol. If
So
you watch that
there's a
show as
contestant
well.
on that show who has the vocal ability, but his main attribute is his performance part, which is very important. I mean, you know, also in like music school and everything, like you have to learn how to your facial expressions and connect to the audience. It's very important. So Lowell has that part, but he might have exaggerated it a little bit with the ad lib and with the.
But I think I'd rather have him do that and be over the top, because you can always pull back.
You can, but
and
even,
I think that's the difference between Lowell and Jacob. Is Jacob wasn't quite there. Lowell was over the top, so I think it's probably easier as a coach to pull back from Lowell.
But also just Lowell, I didn't like his like transitions either.
Yeah,
he wasn't.
And
I felt like
he's
he wasn't
very
listening.
smooth.
Yeah.
Maybe he just had an off night, because he's been pretty consistently
He
good
has
this
been,
whole time.
absolutely.
So he won anyways. Nobody stole Jacob. I feel like Jacob's one of the singers, if he can come back, which I don't know if they're allowed to come back. I think they are up until the live rounds.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
If he came back, I think he'd do really well.
And Jacob's how old?
Young.
Like 15 or 16. And if his voice changes a little bit, I mean, he'll
get a little puberty up in there. He'd be good to go.
Exactly.
Up next was Team Christina, and she had Rob Taylor versus Treva Gibson. Rob sang Love and Happiness. Okay, let me tell you my problem with this performance.
Okay.
Rob is an insanely good singer, but there's something called musical masturbation, and it's where you're like just singing for yourself.
Yes.
And I think that's what he was doing. He was just up there like pleasing himself, but you have to like be giving. Give to the audience, give to everybody else, and it'll be a better performance, and you'll in turn be more pleased.
And you know what? I love that.
Thank you.
I love that, because that's actually true. To be perfectly honest, I mean, I'm not denying his vocal ability.
Yeah.
But I definitely turned my head. Like I definitely stopped looking for like a second, just because I was like, oh, he's doing his thing real quick. Let me give him his time, and let me catch up on something else or whatever it was. Because I mean, I didn't get connected. He didn't give me the opportunity to connect with him.
And it's important to obviously sing for yourself, but you have to, like, you're there to win an audience. So take some of those tricks that you're doing within like the first 30 seconds of the song and spread them out a little bit.
Yeah.
But he's good. But just listen, if you just listen to him, he does.
He's someone, but you see, he's a Barry Minifield to me.
Yeah.
The same type of a thing.
I
mean, I know that it's insane. Like I said, I'm not denying what he's able to do. Just that doesn't necessarily mean I haven't heard it before, you know?
And I think the difference between him and Treva is I think he had vocally a better performance than Treva, but I think Treva connected more to the audience in the song than he did.
And what's funny is that I felt like Treva wanted it more.
Yeah, he just was up there musically masturbating.
Yeah.
That's what it was. So Treva sang Chasing Pavements by Adele. She's really good. I thought she did the thing that we always hate when they do on the show, where they try to sound artsy and make their vowels really wide. Should I give... You know what I mean? Like, that's not her voice. Towards the end, when she was just singing and getting up high, when she didn't have, like, the space to do those, that's when she killed it for me. If she would just sing, because her voice is so good, you don't need to try to be like anybody else, because she's really good.
I didn't mind that in the beginning, only because it's an Adele song, and what do all of us always say? You can't sing Adele because only Adele sings Adele.
Yeah.
And I think that it might have brought us in a little bit, because we like the original song.
Yeah.
And then give us an opportunity to connect with you for a second, and then we'll go with you for the rest of the ride.
I think for me, though, I totally get that. But it's almost like when somebody sings a country song and they develop
and they
a
put the
country
thick
accent. That's how this was for me.
Right. I don't think
Because
so.
if you
that much.
listen
I
to any
disagree a little
other
bit.
performance she has, her voice doesn't sound like this. And then right there, when she's
Right.
in her own voice, then it's good. So Rob ended up winning that, actually, which I was shocked. I know Christina loves big voices, but I think she could do way more with Triva.
She can do so much more with Triva.
Triva, keep making music.
Yeah, Triva keep making music. And you know what? That actually surprised me when she said that. That was the realest response any contestant has said. And it's probably the only opportunity that I'm going to get for a very long time. And like, that's why she got emotional about it. She wasn't like, you know what, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to follow my dream. Not that you shouldn't follow your dream, but at the same time, be hurt. Like, you know, this was difficult and that sucks. And you probably won't, because that's how the world works. But
it's a dog-eat-dog world
It's
out
a
there.
dog-eat-dog world. And I'm happy that Christina said, no, I think that you will. And that's why I think Pharrell stepped down and like gave her a hug, because it was like, damn, man, that little girl is so real. And she's been through a lot.
And she has an
and
incredible story.
She sure does.
I wish she wouldn't have gone home tonight. She was one of my favorites.
Me too. Absolutely.
So final battle of the night was Joshua Davis versus Lexi Davila. Josh sang Arms of a Woman. This song, when Stephanie and I were watching it, we just sort of laid back and closed our eyes.
We did, actually.
Because I'm not even a huge Joshua fan, but he is such an incredible vocalist and musician, and he's just so smooth.
Yeah. You know what? And his look, though, too. He seems like someone who's already been around. He's like one of those artists that I'm like, oh, who's that? Oh, that's Damien Rice? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Kind of
and
a thing.
I think that's the only reason I'm not rooting for him, is because not that he's too good for The Voice, but I feel like give somebody else a chance.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think that he could be signed with someone else. Let them develop. Let them make their own album. Like he's straight. He's good to go.
Because this sounds like somebody who's been in the industry for like 80 years.
Yeah, we like genuinely like laid back and just relaxed for like a second, because it was a good performance. I didn't have to judge it. I was like, okay, this is good.
Yeah, I'm just gonna sit back and let us feel this.
Absolutely.
So he went up against Lexi Davila. She sang "Anything Could Happen" by Ellie Goulding. I actually thought this was a horrible song for her.
And Pharrell was all hype about it.
This must be one of those instances where if you're there, it sounds different.
Yes.
Because even when they kept playing that run, I thought it sounded very like, I'm gonna go, you know what I mean? Like, it didn't sound very smooth. It sounded like it was a little bit bumpy. And I like her falsetto better than her chest voice, actually.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that low run that she did, the one that Pharrell got like stoked about, that he was like, wow, it's gonna be difficult. It sounded nice, but I don't know.
Yeah, she's good, but I don't think, like, I think Triva, who we were just talking about,
had they sang against each other, I think Triva would have won.
Yeah, is way better. I didn't like the pairing because I thought they were so different. I mean, I think she definitely has a voice, and I'm glad she ended up going with Christina at the end, because I think Christina can do the most for her.
Oh, good.
But
yeah, because she stole her.
Give it a spoiler.
Sorry.
But yeah, I wasn't blown away. I'm surprised they saved that for the last performance of the night.
Yeah, likewise.
And not
because it didn't do anything for me.
Not What's Our Girl, not India. So Adam ended up picking Joshua, which that's what I would have gone with.
Good. But Adam can do very well with Joshua.
Christina used her last steal on Lexi, so she's still in it. That's it.
Yeah.
In and out. In and out,
yeah. I think we'll be okay though, because as far as the actual competition goes and the voting goes, the other female contestants are going to.
Yeah, that is the hard part about getting invested in the Voice, is all of your favorite contestants can leave within like a week.
Right.
So it just you got to get used to the ride. Yeah. It's all right. Do we have any news and gossip? No, we don't. So that's good. Let's get into some predictions.
All right.
Who out of tonight?
And now,
pick two people tonight that you'll see in the finale.
Predictions.
India and Lowell. Or.
You know what? That's kind of what I'm gonna say.
Yeah. I just think that they're gonna be voted in, definitely.
India and Lowell, I agree. Both marketable, both insanely great singers, both cute.
I just really, really want to see if Lowell can give us another blind audition performance.
I think he will. I think he's going to be one of the contestants that does really well in the live show. You just need a little like behind him.
I just don't
because they recorded this so long ago. So if he's been practicing,
that's what I'm saying. I just don't want him to be typical or, like I said, like exaggerated. I just want him to stick to what he knows and do it well.
I agree. Well, that wraps it up.
That wraps it up, y'all.
Steffi G, if we want to continue to hear from you, where can we find you?
Y'all can find me on Twitter at Stephanie Giorgi and on Instagram at SteffiG47. Also, this Wednesday with Jason, we'll be doing the American Idol after show. And why don't you guys join us to see what we think about that?
Yeah, do that. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Vine, and Snapchat at Jason Ikeler. You can find AfterBuzz TV on everything as well at AfterBuzz TV. For Steffi G, I'm Jason Ikeler. We will see you back in here next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.